Hey guys, welcome back to another FatMike Chicago Sports Show. Today is February 10th, 2022, and we are back and we are better than ever. We have a great show lined up for you guys. We have David Schuster, Fred Huebner, and Mr. George Ofman, three Chicago sports radio icons tonight here with me. It's going to be absolutely excellent. We are going to be talking top 5 athletes of all time. We're also going to be giving out our Super Bowl quick prediction. So I'm really excited for all that. It's going to be a fun show. But first, before we get this show on the road, I want to give thanks to our sponsors, because without the sponsors of this show and this network, none of those shows on 1252 are possible. Our sponsors include Nick and Ivy Brewing Company, the Jonathan Darren team out at Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group, August Doozer and his campaign running for the 37th District, Susie Sheehan over at the State Farm. We have Mark Berardi with us, Mark Berardi Law. He's the guy. Maybe if you guys are ever in trouble for anything, or if you guys are looking to buy a home, anything, he's the guy that you got to go to. We got White Oak Farm Venue out in Michigan City, the Cupcakery Bakery. It's amazing. We got the Sportsplex out in Homer Glen. Everything is crazy here at 1252, and without those sponsors, guys, none of this is possible. So, that being said, let's get this show on the road. It's going to be a fun one. I hope you guys are ready to go. It's going to be great. Here we go. You are listening to 1252 Sports Entertainment. Parental discretion may be advised.
Woo! It's about that time. FatMike Chicago Sports. Yeah. Woo. Finally here. Shot City Sports is right here. Updates on news, get it here. No rumors, cause we keep it real. FatMike. Sit back, relax, sugar beer one of them nights.
Hey, this is Carmen DeFalco from ESPN Chicago, and you're listening to the FatMike Sports Show.
Hey, this is Dave Richard from CBS Sports, and you're listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hi, this is Jesse Rogers for the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey everyone, I'm Scott Merkin, the longtime White Sox beat writer for MLB.com and proud graduate of the University of Michigan. You're listening to me on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
This is Chuck Arfine, and you are listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. It's the best.
Hey, what's up? This is Greg Braggs Jr. from Braggs in the Stands. You're listening to my guys on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. Boom!
Hey everyone, Fred Huebner from ESPN 1000. Great to be on the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. I'm Dan Zaborski, senior writer for Fangraphs, and you're listening to FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
I'm JJ Stankovich from NBCSportsChicago.com and the Under Center podcast, and you're listening to the FatMike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey Sparkle, you know what I listen to? It's the FatMike Chicago Sports Show with my guy, Fat Mike. If you listen anywhere else, no shock. Listen to Fat Mike. The best.
All right, and what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of the FatMike Chicago Sports Show. I am super excited for tonight. I have three, like I said at the intro tonight, we have three Chicago sports radio icons joining me tonight, and I'm super excited about that. We have David Schuster, we have Fred Huebner, we have George Ofman joining me tonight. We are going to be talking about the top 5 greatest athletes of all time. And it's a touchy subject. This has been racking my mind for the last week, ever since I thought about the idea and bringing it up. Last week I was going to do it, and I was like, no, there's other stuff going on with all the Bears stuff going on. And last night, obviously, my show got pushed to today because, a little bit of a mix-up. I kind of needed that off. I was tired, guys. I'm back to work full time. I don't know what you guys want from me. I can't keep doing this shit. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But no, it was. I'm really excited about this. And this, I have went over lists just to make sure that my list doesn't suck, if that makes any sense. I'm like, well, should he be in there? Should she be in there? And it's like, it's amazing. And I'm going to kind of cheat tonight. And when we get everybody on here tonight, you'll see where I cheat. But a lot of big news, especially in the MLB today. I want to touch base on this because, listen, I love the NFL, guys. I truly, truly do. But my heart lies with baseball. And it always will. It always will. I'm a baseball fan through and throughout. I can watch any single baseball game that's on TV, whether it be college baseball, Little League World Series, anything. It doesn't matter. Baseball playoffs are my favorite time of the year. It really is. October, November, you got everything going on. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. But the MLB has been pissing me off lately. And like, I know my guy over here, Fred Huebner, has a thing called What's Up Fred's Cannon. I'm not going to steal his stuff. I'm not going to steal it. But baseball's been really putting a thorn in my side the last couple of weeks. Rob Manfred, I said it once before, Rob Manfred is an absolute joke of a commissioner. He is an absolute moron. But today, somehow, some way, they figured it out. We have universal DH. Yay, applaud, applaud, yay, it's about time. Nobody wants to see the for sure out of having one of your pitchers come up to bat. It's annoying. It's aggravating. It makes no damn sense. Why not just fill that role with a player to keep the game moving along? And out, I get it. But come on, pitchers are a little much. Look at this guy. Oh, I got a bunch of lovey faces. Oh, I don't know who that is, but Facebook user, thank you so much. But yeah, I'm excited for baseball to get going here. I've been chomping at the bit, waiting for it. We got Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer, more MLB news. Trevor Bauer will not be sentenced or prosecuted or anything like that. It's a go. So there we go. Oh, I can't play that. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And I'm ready for baseball to kick off. I know my Cubs are not that great, but I'm still missing to watch them. I still want to watch them. Our guy, Mike Hughes, over here at 12-2, had a great interview. It's going to be airing this coming up Saturday with Brennan Davis, the number one Cubs prospect in the system. It's going to be airing on Saturday. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. It's one of those things where if it's not here, but when it's supposed to be here, it's going to really upset me because football is going to be over and I'm not going to know what to do with myself. Usually I just jump right back in. I usually just jump right back into baseball after football ends because that's when pitchers and catchers report. That's when you get to watch these up-and-coming spring training games where I can see my guys like Brennan Davis, where I can see guys like Nick Madrigal and stuff like that. But yeah, Harry Berg, our guy Harry the Greek here, says, must be the baseball beard. You're right. I'm on strike. I am on strike right now. I'm going to grow my beard until baseball comes back. That's it. Plain and simple. That's it. I'm 100% with it. I'm growing my beard until baseball back. Go Cubbies. I'm with you, Fat Mike. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. At least I have someone with me because the wife hates my face because it has all this hair all over it. So, it happens. But NBA trade deadline was today. Shocking news. James Harden weasels his way out of the Brooklyn Nets again, forcing a trade. Everybody knew that he wasn't happy up there in Brooklyn. And he gets shopped to the Sixers for Ben Simmons and a couple other guys. I am completely mind blown that Ben Simmons was a part of any deal in the NBA because I wouldn't want that turd sandwich. He doesn't shoot the ball. And when he does shoot the ball, he never makes it. It's amazing. James Harden, although I don't like James Harden, is a very, very good basketball player. He does things on the court that I've never seen. Guys like he's up there in the superstars of top 10. I would take James Harden in the top 10 of the NBA right now. Maybe top 15. I may be pushing it with top 10. But James Harden at any given moment can dish the ball for 10 assists, can score 20 points. He could average 2 steals a game. He's unreal. He's really, really good. But for Ben Simmons, what are you doing? The Sixers just got way better by adding James Harden to that roster. And, me sitting here as a Bulls fan, we've seen it just happen again the other night. The Bulls have zero answer for Joel Embiid. Now, if you put James Harden in that mix out in the East, what are the Bulls going to do? The Bulls went from first to third pretty damn quick, guys. Really quick. Scary quick. I made a bet at the beginning of the year that the Bulls were going to win 50 games. I would have won a lot of money, guys. And I bought 3 games. I said 53 games plus. I bought 3 games. I look like an idiot now with all these injuries on this Bulls team with Caruso and Patrick Williams and now Lonzo Ball. And man, do I look like a dummy. What a dummy I am. Unreal. Back to the baseball stuff. He says, Facebook uses funny how much the owners were allegedly bleeding during COVID restrictions, but now there's no urgency to get a deal done. Yes, you're 100% right. I am 100% on the player side at this point. Max Scherzer, when Mad Max speaks, I listen. All right. He didn't like the deal. He's a baseball guy. He brings that old blood back to the MLB. He brings that, how do I say old blood? Not old blood, but he has that older mentality for today's MLB. You know, there aren't too many guys in the league now, in a league right now where teams are starting a reliever, starting a closer the first inning or two. There aren't too many guys in today's MLB that can give you a strong 6, 7, 8, or a complete game in today's MLB. The guys that have that's the baseball I grew up watching. A guy that can go 8 innings and hand it over to the closer. A guy that can go 7 innings and hand it over to the closer. Those guys are John Lester, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer. Who's a couple more? There's Clayton Kershaw in his prime was able to do that. Those guys are far gone now. You don't see that anymore. It's such a tail of the wind game where it's, okay, give me 4 and we'll bring it to the bullpen. And that's why these teams suck at the playoffs. That's why they're giving up 9 runs in the playoffs, because they spent their bullpen throughout the entire season. It's crazy. It's insane. I'm back and forth today. It's been a crazy hectic day between baseball and the NBA. I'm all over the place. Obviously, you guys can tell. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm all over the place. But it's been one of those things where it's with baseball anyways. It's been one of those things that's been edging on me for a long time. Baseball has to get back in order. It has to. And I know everybody says it's billionaires arguing with millionaires. Yeah, I get it. I understand that. But the players just want what's coming to them. The player service agreement. That's ridiculous. Chris Bryant, because you held him down 2 weeks, gets an extra year of of contract. That's crap. If he comes up for 1 game, 1 at bat, he should have service time. Plain and simple, in my opinion, anyways. That's what I think. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say anymore. It drives me nuts. Really quick, guys, before we keep on getting into tonight's show, 15 minutes here. We got George Ofman, Fred Huebner, and David Schuster joining me. We're going to be talking top 5 greatest athletes and give a little bit of our Super Bowl predictions. When I come back from our quick little break, I'm going to be breaking down a little bit of the Super Bowl because I am super pumped for the Super Bowl this Sunday. I can't wait. We got a bunch of food. I'll tell you the food spread that we got going. But really quick, we'll be right back.
Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport, Illinois. We are very excited to be partnering up with the FatMike Chicago Sports Show as well as the 1252 brand because we are one of the few Chicagoland breweries that embrace sports and sports culture. Come in for a fresh brewed beer made right here in Lockport while catching the game of your favorite team. Stay for the live music that we have booked every weekend. Or just come for a cozy atmosphere to enjoy a good conversation with a friend, loved one, or complete stranger. Nick and Ivy makes you feel right at home no matter what the occasion is. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. Visit our website for our up-to-date tap list or to go shopping on our online store at nickivybrewing.com. That's NIKIVY brewing.com. Come in today for a fresh brewed beer born and raised in Lockport, Illinois.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
Real estate is hot right now, and you need an attorney to handle all of this. My guy, Mark Berardi, does this all day long. He's a straight shooter. There's no fancy language. He's just to the point. And he and his team get the deal done. There's no BS. He also does estate planning, trusts, wills, and power of attorney. He has great reviews up and down the board from a ton of happy clients. For him and his big team, they're all just down to earth and normal people as much as he is. You will not be disappointed you went with him. He's located in Homer Glen and New Lenox and handles real estate all over Illinois. There's no place too far, so give him a call today at 708-942-8030. Again, that's 708-942-8030, or look him up online at Mark Berardi and Associates. All right, and we're back. All right, and here we go, guys. I want to talk about the Super Bowl this weekend. The Super Bowl is honestly one of my favorite events all year. It's one of those days where my party starts at 10:30 in the morning. I'm up, the house is clean, everything's ready to go. Food is on the stove cooking, food is in the crock pot cooking. I am hanging out. I even today I'm sitting there, I get off of work and I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, what can I do for little sneaky snack treats? And they're probably not going to make it until Sunday. But I'm pretty sure I got robbed by the Girl Scouts earlier this afternoon when I stopped at my near and dear liquor store and I bought 4 boxes of Girl Scout cookies. 4. I got the Samoas. I got the Thin Mints. I got the peanut butter ones. And I got the new one because it looks so damn good. A chocolate brownie cookie with caramel and salted, a little bit of salt, sea salt on it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And this needs to be up for a draft, to be honest with you, like a fantasy draft on what the best Girl Scout cookie is, because there's a ton of them. That'd be a very interesting draft, depending on what you choose at number 1. You could really, really bite the big one on that one. But anyways, I got a ton of food ideas for this coming up week. I'm thinking about making a pasta dish. I don't know, but I know that I will have the spicy grape jelly, the sriracha grape jelly meatballs on display. Look that up if you've never had that. We will have chips and salsa. I'm going to make my wife. I'm going to make her. I'm going to make my wife make the guacamole because she makes the best guacamole I've ever had in my life. And we're going to do the mini hot dogs and stuff like that. But the Super Bowl Sunday, it all starts at my house at 11 o'clock, at 10:30, 11 o'clock. Everybody has a drink in hand. We're hanging out. I've already called off of work for Monday because the Monday after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday. It really should be. It really should be. Take away whatever other weird holiday that, I don't know. All the holidays I'm usually off of work are pretty important holidays. But, I mean, that should just be a national holiday. It just should be at this point. It's the most called off day every single year for the last, 20 years. Everybody calls off the day after Super Bowl Sunday. It's a great day. Everybody's hungover. Everybody's tired. Nobody wants to do anything. It should just be one of those days. It should be. I don't know why, but it should be. But that's what's going on for the Super Bowl. This year's Super Bowl is going to be a lot of fun. We have the Cincinnati Bengals going all the way out to Los Angeles to play the Rams. It's going to be a really, really good game. I'm not going to give my prediction just yet, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I truly do. I don't think defense is going to play too much of a factor. Both defenses are playing really good right now. The Cincinnati Bengals offensive line is terrible. Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times and still won a game the other day. Can you believe that? When was any team sacks any opposing quarterback 9 times, that team should win the game. It's going to be crazy. Troy Polamalu commenting in here. Do you think? No. Do I think the Bears will sign little Kyler Murray? No, I do not. Thoughts on universal DH? Kyle Nickel. Dude, I love the universal DH. It's awesome. It's about time. It's a great change. I'm tired of watching pitchers bat. Pitchers should not bat at all. Plain and simple. Universal DH is a very, very good thing. Let's see what else. Let's go through a couple of the comments here. Am I going to see my White Sox in spring training on March 12th through the 19th? Hi, Mike. I don't know, Facebook user. At this point, it's looking very, very grim. Hopefully they can get it going. And I mean, God knows, I hope that they do. I hope they figure this shit out because I really want baseball. Mo Beerman, to be honest, I hate both of them. The owners and the players are alike. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's millionaires arguing with billionaires. But still, we're the ones that are affected the most because the people that actually like baseball, the people that actually enjoy watching the game, the people that actually don't bitch about the game are being the ones that are frowned upon the most because and beaten up the most because our sport is not going to be there when it's supposed to be there. It drives me nuts too, man. It really does. It truly, truly does. We got Emma Ferdova. Sounds like she's Russian or something. Vomred. So I don't know what kind of Russian that is, but okay. It's probably a hacker, probably one of those porno sites or something like that. That I know a few of. I go to them too, guys. I'm a guy. So, but there we go. But yeah, I'm really excited. Okay, let's for Sunday in itself. I love all the commercials. I'm the type of guy that's going to sit there on my couch and watch every single commercial. I don't want a big party. You guys go in chat up here in the comment section, guys. Would you guys rather be at a Super Bowl party or actually be able to watch the game and everything that it entails? The Super Bowl, the halftime. I'm pumped up for the halftime. I know somebody's not pumped up for the halftime show, but I'm pumped up for the halftime show. I want to see Dre and Eminem and Snoop Dogg. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be super badass. And drinks are going to be flowing. I'm sure I'll have a couple dudes running around the house and doing our thing. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for the first time ever in my life. Well, in my lifetime, there's been 2 good halftime Super Bowl halftimes. Prince and Paul McCartney. That's it. Everything else sucked. And I'm a heavy rocker. I love music. Kiss the one year was terrible. How can you put Kiss at halftime? Good Lord. What are you doing? Bunch of guys dressed up there. What are you playing? I Want to Rock and Roll. Just go on. Do what you got to do. But it's going to be a good game. I have a feeling it's going to be a Super Bowl that we're not going to forget. It's not going to be like that Pittsburgh Steelers Seattle game where it was defensive battle. It was a very, very good game, but it put everybody to sleep almost. You guys remember that game, Pittsburgh and Seattle? That was a snore of a game. It was a snore of a game. I want to see points. And just like everybody, that's the way the NFL has gone over the past couple of years. So you got to be able to score. You got to be able to score to win the game. And I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I really do. I'm not going to give my pick yet. Our guy here, I don't know who it is, Facebook user says, we know you're betting on the Bengals, but I'm betting on the Rams. Is it bad to root for both teams? Damn. Yes. Pick one. I'm tired of all the Lions fans being like, oh, yeah, go Stafford. Get out of here. The Detroit Rams. I saw a thing, the Detroit Rams, it's half and half jersey. What are you doing? Get with it. We got Bo Beerbad saying Metallica should have been to halftime when it was in Frisco. Yes, Mo Beerman, you are 100% correct. That's for sure. We got Facebook user. Watch the game in front of my 65-inch with a few family members, honey, and hot wings. Okay, I like the hot wings. The honey wings, you threw me off there a little bit, but okay, that's okay. I dig on hot wings. I'm all about the hot wings all day long. Honey wings, you're a weirdo. You're weird. Nobody likes honey wings. I don't know anybody that likes honey wings. If you do like honey wings, you're a little goofy. So guys, here we go. We're waiting on our guy. Deep Dish Sucks. Who's this guy? Now what? Deep Dish Sucks? Yeah, it's not Chicago pizza. Everybody thinks Chicago pizza is deep dish. It's not. We like a nice crust. No, we don't want all that mess. It's too much mess. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm the type of guy with the Super Bowl. Like I said earlier, for the Super Bowl Sunday, I'm going to have literally 3 people in my house. It's going to be myself, my wife, and my friend Uncle Joe. And possibly, my buddies George and Damien might come on by. If they do come on by, I don't have to supply them for food, which is nice. So I'm going to just figure it out. I think throughout the day, the hot meatballs and all that other stuff and the mini hot dogs is going to be good. We got Nawa saying now too much mess is all that fuckery on your hot dogs. Whoa. This guy shitting on Chicago style hot dogs. This guy's really pissing me off. Now, I like it though. He's giving good shit. But yeah, on Sunday, like I said, we're going to have the spicy meatballs. I know a lot of people like those. Those are really good. Grape jelly sriracha. Find the recipe. We're doing the pigs in the blanket, the little hot dogs rolled up in the little croissant roll pieces. That's going to be good. We're going to have chips and salsa. We're going to have, I'm going to ask my wife to make the guacamole. I'm not going to make her. I'm going to ask her to make it. And then for the big meal, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what to do. That's the problem. Last year, I did Jewel chicken, which was absolutely awesome. I catered in. It was mostaccioli. It was the macaroni and cheese. Big old thing, a tray of chicken. And it was great. Everything tasted awesome. But there was a lot of people here last year, and I really hated last year's Super Bowl. It drove me nuts because there was too many people here, and I couldn't hear the commercials. I wished everybody simultaneously started choking on their food and died when the commercials popped up. I was hoping that. I was praying for that. I missed out on so many commercials. Thank God. Thank God I recorded the game and I watched it the next day. Because like I said, I'm that guy that calls off the day after the Super Bowl, and you should be too. Now, again, coming in. He's coming in hot. Pork tenderloin. Eat some yummy, yummy pork tenderloin. That's a good one. There you go. There you go. Tri-tip is good. I don't know what tri-tip is. Somebody explain that to me. I don't know what that is. But as we're sitting here, guys, we got a couple of guys in the background already. We're still waiting on one. I'm going to bring these guys in. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here we go. Here starts our discussion. I'm going to bring in my guy, Fred Huebner, and my guy, David Schuster. How we doing, fellas? How we doing?
What's up?
By the way, Jewel not only has great chicken, but they have really good honey wings, and I happen to like them.
See, everybody likes the honey wings. I'm more the hot wing guy. I like the hot wings.
I had a guy bring some hot wings over 2 weeks ago to my house. They were awesome, and about half the bucket was still left, so I ate those for the next 2 days. They were wonderful.
There you go. Now, where were they from? Were they from Jewel?
Jewel. They're from Jewel. Yeah.
Yes.
Really good stuff. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's good stuff. Jewel chicken is like hands down. Dude, the best part about Jewel chicken is tomorrow night you get a bucket of chicken and 2 sides for $8.99.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
They have a lot of sales during the week on chicken, ribs, everything. Actually, Jewel's a pretty good place to go get your dinner every now and then.
Yes. Hey, Dave, our guy Nawa says, he says he knows you. He's like, wait, I know David. This guy, he knows you. He says he's my neighbor. And he says, I haven't seen him since high school. And he says he used to hotbox the urinal.
No idea.
All right. I don't think.
Okay, I don't know. I must be too old, but I don't know what hotboxing the urinal means.
Yeah. Well, as a hotbox is having a heater, a cigarette.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's hotboxing. Or Dave was smoking some wacky tobacco way back in the day and flushing it down the urinal. That sounds more like Dave.
Yeah, well, see, when David and I were in school, they allowed you to smoke in they had a smoking area for the students, which was amazing.
Yeah. See, I mean, I just created my own smoking area when I just left the school and just started wandering around East Campus in Lockport, smoking a cigarette in the woods.
There you
walking back. Yeah. So, guys, here we go. We're still waiting on George. He will eventually be here. And I want to go through the top 5 athletes, greatest athletes of all time. This was a funny list for me. I'm sure that you guys, excuse me, I've been thinking about this list for over the last week and like how tough of a list this is. Because you guys, there's guys out there that should definitely be on there. All over the place. I mean, seriously.
Some of them won't be on mine. I know that.
Yes, I know. And some of them aren't going to be on mine at all either.
Yeah.
But I mean, guys like, Tom Brady and,
Who?
Michael Phelps or Simone Biles or Tiger Woods, so on and so forth. All these guys are amazing at their craft. And it was a really tough list for me to come up with. It truly, truly was. It was such a pain in the ass list.
Well,
as we're talking about this, George just hopped on. Perfect. Sorry about that, Dave. Go ahead. I'll continue.
No, what I was going to say is, I mean, you can go, you can say the best in all the sports, but that's not what the topic is. The topic is the greatest athletes. I mean, so Tom Brady may or may not. I still think Joe Montana is the greatest, and I know Fred.
There you go.
Fred, how are you, Fred?
Good, George.
You look good, Fred. You're
stuff looks great on Facebook. You look like you're having a wonderful time in life.
I sure am. Thanks to Fat Mike.
Yeah. You know what, Fred? Now he's going to ask you for money or something. I mean, that's just George's way of buttering somebody up. Anyway, back to what I was saying. It's not.
Can I interrupt David for a minute? Fred, do you have any money?
Not much.
It's not the greatest in individual sports. You asked for the greatest athletes, so that's where I'm going. And,
well,
and by the way,
what are we talking about? The greatest athlete in the United States, the world?
All over the place. Greatest athletes of all time. Doesn't matter where they're from. And if we don't know him, George, give a little bit of description on him. Because you maybe
I haven't thought of it, but I can come up with him.
The best curler of all time. It may be that may be your guy. Who knows?
I don't think that there's going to be a curler here. I really don't.
Hey, don't count me out. I'll come up with some obscure shit. Don't count me out. I'll freak everybody out.
Hey, Mike, even before we do this, for the F of it, I decided to Google the worst athletes in history.
Oh, boy. Okay. Go ahead. Go give some of that list.
The worst tennis player, maybe George might know this, maybe he won't. The worst.
Maybe it's George.
Really, Fred? Can you do me a favor? Can we cancel Fred from this?
There was some guy by the name of, Robert D. You ever hear of this guy, George?
No, it must have been that bad. I wouldn't have heard of him. And
he lost his first 54 matches. So I guess that construes as one of the worst tennis players of all time. Then there's a soccer player, Fred. I don't know who this guy is. His name is Ali Dia.
Well, can I? No. Is that the guy who was always hurt and never played like a match in his entire career?
It could be.
Well, that would make him the worst player if he couldn't play.
Well, he never even played soccer.
Lose 54 matches in a row.
You know what? On this top 100 worst athletes, there's a lot of guys who went through Chicago just for the F of it.
Harry Chappis, Delmer Bayshore. We get any of them, or
well, on this particular list, Rusty Lish, who was one of the Bears' horrible quarterbacks. Ed Neely, who was, like this as a basketball player. Mike Phipps, another terrible Bears quarterback. Jack Haley, who all he did was wave the towel for Dennis Rodman.
Correct.
And Wilbur Wood.
Worst athlete? Come on.
Well,
I got one.
What do they mean by worse? I mean, he didn't look like an athlete, right? But he was also pretty darn good at what he did.
He looked like a fisher. He looked like he was a fisherman.
Didn't he once have a season where he won 20 games and lost 20 games?
Yes.
Yep.
24 and 21?
Yeah.
Think about all the decisions they had back then.
And he also started both ends of a doubleheader one Sunday.
That's right. Yes.
I got one for you. I got my least favorite athlete of all time, and that would be Todd Walker, former second baseman of the Chicago Cubs. That's all that guy did was
a pretty good player, though.
That's all that fucking guy did was pop out to the catcher or roll one over to the second baseman. I still hate that man to this day.
Look, they may have been bad here, but he was a good athlete.
All right. Yeah. I'm jaded on that one. He was a good interview, so he's not on my list.
There you go.
Was a good interview. Yeah.
All right, guys. So like I was saying, top 5 athletes of all time. We'll go around the horn here. We'll start off with George. George, since you're the one with you seem like that you're the topic is a little obscure and a little weird for you, whether it be U.S. or worldwide. Let's start with you at number 5, greatest athlete of all time.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to place them numerically, but I mean, I would think that you would put Muhammad Ali as right in that picture, and I think there'll be agreement on that.
No,
probably Pele is.
Whoa! Are you still on your number 5? Are you going through your?
He just wants you to go one at a time here.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but I apologize.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right, so Pele is my first one, or rather Muhammad Ali.
Okay, so Muhammad Ali, no numerical order for you. I got mine 5-1. All right, Dave, how about yourself?
I do have 5-1, and I don't have Muhammad Ali. He may be the great. Again, this is greatest boxer, but I don't think he's the greatest athlete. I think that's what the subject is. So I'm going with guys, and when you hear my list, you'll understand where I'm going. I have number 5 on my list, Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe obviously was an Olympic who won 2 Olympic medals in the 1912 Olympics. He played pro football. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was also one of the greatest track and field athletes of all time. And by the way, I'm a big track and field kind of guy. So I have Jim Thorpe as number 5 on my list.
All right, that's he was one of the ones that I was teeter-tottering on. So
yeah,
Fred, how about yourself? Number 5.
I just rated them. I had 7 guys here. Sorry, Dion and Jesse Owens lose out. So I got rid of them. They're probably 6 and 7. But number 5 is a guy we came to know pretty well here in Chicago. He also played baseball, but Michael Jordan, not only because he was the best basketball player, but it's not easy to be 6, whatever he was, 6'8", 6'7", 6'6", and hit a baseball and stand up there. Now, he didn't hit it often. He didn't hit it well, but he still spent a whole year in minor league baseball, and he's got to be on my list somewhere, so I'm putting him at number 5.
All right. So far, so good. My number 5 greatest athlete of all time is a guy who did everything. It's Bo Jackson. Not only did he play 2 professional sports, but he was a superstar in both of the sports. On the baseball diamond, Bo had a career batting average of 250, which in today's standard is an all-star, hit 141 homers in just under 695 career games. In 1989, the guy was elected to the American League All-Star, for crying out loud, and won the game's MVP award. All right. It was a hobby sport for him at this point, guys. Not only that, but he was a phenomenal, amazing football player. He was, Tecmo Bowl, guys. You guys couldn't tackle Bo Jackson. They made him unstoppable in Tecmo Bowl. All right. Bo Jackson is my number 5. All right. That's my number 5.
Forgive me for not having listed them. I didn't list people, but as you mentioned, athletes. And so, of course, on my list is going to be a tennis player, and that's Roger Federer, who I think is first of all, tennis players are spectacular athletes. And I think we can argue who's the best of all time. He is the best of all time, to me, at least for the time being. So he is going to be on my list. So wherever they list him, Roger Federer is one of them on my list.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Tennis is a grueling sport. So we'll go back to Dave here for his number 4. We're gonna split this up a little evenly, okay?
All right.
Dave, who's your number 4?
Well, Fred didn't want him on his list, so I'm putting him on mine. I have Jesse Owens as number 4, another guy great in track and field. And by the way, he won 4 gold medals at the 36 Olympics. He should have taken those gold medals and thrown them right at Hitler's face, but he did. Jesse Owens, again, under tremendous pressure winning that. And he set so many world records both before and after those Olympics. So again, I'm a big track and field guy. I have Jesse Owens, number 4.
Okay. And as you'll see, I think for me and David, ours are a lot with guys that played multiple sports. And my 4th guy is Jackie Robinson. Now, everybody knows Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier, but and they always forget Larry Doby, which is wrong. But anyway, Jackie Robinson also was a tremendous football player. He ran track. He was just absolutely amazing. And as we talked about, all the stuff that Jesse Owens went through with the Olympics, I mean, Jackie Robinson did it. And more so, there's a great movie, if you ever get a chance. It's called Soul of the Game. Now, the Jackie Robinson, 42 is a good movie, but Soul of the Game is another good movie talking about Satchel Paige and Jackie Robinson. And it's a really good book, but Jackie Robinson has to be in there because, again, not only the baseball ability, but what he was able to do in multiple sports. And that's the question is about athletes. So I think he's got to be up there.
Forgive me for interrupting here, but if there was a Mount Rushmore of United States athletes, he would be on there.
Oh, definitely, for sure. I 100% agree with you, George. All right, George. Now let's go to your not number 4, but number 4.
What about you, Mike?
I'll go last. I
gave you 2 of them now.
Well, he gave you Ali, and he gave you
right. And I
Federer
also mentioned Pele because Pele is still considered one of the great soccer players, and that is also a very grueling sport.
Yes,
those are sports that you have to use your legs for 45 minutes. Well, sometimes for an entire game. Those guys are in fabulous shape. I like to think of those 2 sports, soccer and tennis, are athletes who are in fabulous shape, who have to constantly be moving. So, and Pele certainly is, I don't want to say he's the undisputed best of all time. Ronaldo is certainly right up there, but I would put Pele on my list.
All right, so my number 4, this is the hardest number that I had to deal with. This was the toughest one for me, 100%. Because I know my top 3 of all time, without question, without boom, off the top of my head. Number 4 was a tough one. Number 4, I have obviously Joe Montana. Never lost a Super Bowl, never caused a fumble, never had an interception in 4 Super Bowls. 4-0 in Super Bowls. Unbelievable, Joe Montana. He was phenomenal. All right. Serena Williams, 23 grand slams, guys. 23. That's amazing. And I'm not a tennis fan, but what she did for the tennis and sport is amazing. And my other one was Tiger Woods. Completely changed the game. Without him being injured and getting injured, would have dominated and passed Nicholas far none. No doubt in my mind would have passed Nicholas.
See, we're getting a little skewed here now again with what's the athlete, what's not. That's why I picked Muhammad Ali. And yes, my next one would have been Serena Williams. But what are we talking about now? Are we talking about athletes who made impacts or athletes who are athletes? There's something that's dramatically different there. David, I know, is a big boxing fan. That Muhammad Ali was on my list. Maybe he's not the greatest athlete, but world renowned. So I'm not sure where you're coming from on some of the picks you made.
Right. So when I came to my finale with number 4 was Serena Williams, because of the athleticism that has to go into the sport of tennis, the endurance, and I'm not a tennis fan. I couldn't tell you how to even win a tennis match, but what she's done for the sports, what she's done for women in that sport is absolutely phenomenal, making it a must watch all around the world, pretty much, for tennis players. She's absolutely amazing. And to be the best at her sport, in a grueling sport at that, that's why I put Serena Williams number 4.
You know what? When you want to stay in tennis, I would say Martina Navratilova was a better athlete than Serena Williams. George?
The game became a different game than when Martina was playing.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that. She was a wonderful athlete, don't get me wrong. But this game became a much more game of strength than just finesse and power and movement. Where Serena Williams, and she's a great athlete and dominant athlete. So, but she's a great athlete. I'm not going to argue with Martina Navratilova. We covered her here. She won every year she played here, for crying out loud. She was that dominant.
Well, she's not on my list anyway, but I just had
mine either. Yeah.
All right, guys. Now we move on to number 3. Freddie, kick us off with number 3.
Okay. I got Bo Jackson 3. And every time I think of Bo, I either think of him in the Raiders uniform running over Brian Bosworth, or I think of him running up the wall was it in Kansas City, I think, when he was running up the wall after making a catch. And it's just he was an amazing athlete, absolutely amazing what he was able to do. And and numbers. And I looked at his average too, and I know I saw it at 250, but what he was able to do in 2 sports and dominate, and then just became the whole Bo Knows thing. Kept him around forever, and heck, he lives about 3 miles from here. He lives right down here in Burr Ridge, and he's been around forever. He's always hanging around. He's with the White Sox and doing a lot of stuff now, and so Bo Jackson's definitely on my list as number 3.
All right, George, let's go to you.
I think I've already given 3, so go to somebody else who has number 3.
All right, Dave, how about yourself?
Is chess a sport? Because I had Boris Spassky.
Over Bobby Fischer? Over Bobby Fischer. Come on.
Well, if that's the case, I'd like to pick the best backgammon player in history. Only I don't know who that is.
Fred, I just like the name
Gary Kasparov. Come on.
Yeah, I just like the name Boris. I can't help it. No, my real number 3 is Jim Brown, who may be arguably the greatest football player of all time. But you know what, guys? If you take a look at Jim Brown's life, first of all, going all the way back to high school, where he averaged 14 yards a carry in high school. He also played basketball in high school. He averaged 38 points a game in high school. That's unfathomable. And of course, he's considered maybe the greatest lacrosse player of all time. And you talk about sports that you don't know how to play tennis, Mike. I have no idea how do you win in lacrosse. And take the net and just bang somebody over the head. I have no idea. But he was considered one of the greatest lacrosse players while he was in college. And of course, he's, definitely one of the greatest football players. So I have Jim Brown number 3.
Ironically, I do as well. Jim Thorpe lettered, like you said, going all the way back to high school. He lettered in 13 times. He lettered 13 times in 5 different sports: lacrosse, basketball, baseball, football. And there's another one in there somewhere. Track and field, right? Track and field. He was absolutely unbelievable. I mean, what he did in his time, it is par none. It truly is. It's unbelievable what he did for football, especially during And I know we talked about most influential as well, and that's not what I'm trying to go here with. But he was very instrumental in the influence of what was going on in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that in national football, and not only National Football League, but also throughout the United States with segregation and everything like that with Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, all that other stuff. He was very instrumental in that. And
the only time I saw Jim Brown fail was in the movie Dirty Dozen when he was throwing those hand grenades. You know,
he was still awesome at that too. He was still awesome at that. As cheesy as it is, it's great.
But he got shot. He didn't make it through, the wind sprints or whatever.
All-purpose guy.
It was one of the saddest points of the movie. Come on. Boom, there he goes. And he did, if it was not his stuntman, if it was him, he did a great job of getting shot because he looked great when he was going down.
Wasn't Telly Savalas in that movie as
well?
well?
They were all in that movie. One of the great movies of all time. By the way, Jim Brown rebounded after that movie where he was a winner. He was in a stupid movie called 100 Rifles with Raquel Welch, and I think he made out with her. So he won in that one.
Raquel Welch, baby.
That was probably shot in the mountains. So now let me give me number 2. But it's not number 2, and if he's not on your list, he should be, and that's Wayne Gretzky, hockey players are also very good athletes, and he's the best. Ovechkin, though, is challenging his numbers eventually, but Wayne Gretzky, he changed hockey. He dominated hockey. I mean, I thought about Gordie Howe because he lasted into his 50s, for crying out loud. But Wayne Gretzky, I think he has more assists than any other player has points.
Yes.
I mean, they changed the face of hockey. We saw him so many times, David, at the United Center.
He was unbelievable.
And the old mostly the old Chicago Stadium.
Right.
And you paid to see him play. He was just different.
And George, I think the two best things about Wayne Gretzky, he is the greatest hockey player, no question to me. But he married Janet Jones.
Yes.
And then he spawned Paulina Gretzky.
Smoke show.
Why do I have a feeling? Forget about it. I don't want to talk about that.
And his son was also a draft pick of the Cubs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, go ahead. You're number 2.
My number 2. This is tough. I almost had him number 1, but my number 2, and I'm sticking with what I've been saying, is a great athlete, Will Chamberlain. Who may be the greatest basketball player of all time, and that's unarguable. But Will Chamberlain, go back and take a look at him. Track and field, he was unbelievable. This guy was 7 feet in high school. He was winning the high jump. He was winning the shot put, the 440, the 880, yada, yada. Volleyball, after his playing NBA career, he started playing professional volleyball. He was 7'2". But honestly, what puts him number 2 on my list, come on, guys, 20,000 women?
See, I knew this was going right off the bat.
So did I.
Raquel Welch, Will Chamberlain, 20,000 women. Why do I get the feeling your number 1 choice is going to be somebody in the porno world? I don't know.
Gene Simmons, John Holmes, John Holmes, and the Hedgehog, Ron Jeremy.
Yeah. Oh, God.
For days, those 3.
Gotta have fun with this, don't you?
Yeah.
All right, Freddie, you're number 2.
Well, my number 2, David already took him a little bit earlier, but Jim Brown, because he was just absolutely amazing. I mean, you'd see the films of Jim Brown, and we're old, but I never saw Jim Brown play. Okay, all the stuff I had seen was highlights and things like that. But he just run over people; they couldn't tackle him. It took 3, 4, 5 guys to get him down, and he was absolutely amazing. And he made that number 32 the number that everybody, people that progressed wanted to wear that number if they were running backs. They wanted to be number 32 because they wanted to be like Jim Brown. Like you said, the Syracuse football, Syracuse lacrosse, just an absolutely amazing athlete. And like I said, my whole list, it was so weird. We talked about this yesterday when you asked me to come on. And this morning in my damn dreams, I'm thinking, okay, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Who should it be? Should it be athletes? Should it be this? And that's why I took out some of the guys that played just individual sports like Gretzky and Michael Jordan. I had to put in because I thought, the baseball helped. Plus he was the best basketball guy I saw. And, Wilt, I did see. First basketball game I ever went to. I was at the Chicago Stadium. It was the Bulls against the Lakers. It was Wilt Chamberlain, Gail Goodrich, Jerry West, and Tom Borwinkle. They used to have 3 to make 2. Bulls were down a point. He missed all 3. They lost by a point. But anyway, yeah, Jim Brown is definitely my number 2.
All right, my number 2, I mean, hands down, George, you already took him, Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky was phenomenal. He is hands down the greatest hockey player of all time. Let's take a look at a little bit of some important stats here, guys. He got his first 1,000 points the fastest ever, and then he got his next 1,000 points the second fastest ever, only to be bested by himself. Okay, that's insane. He should be far more than what he is on my list. But he would often skate with the puck down the ice before the entire team, before even making a pass or assist. The guy had 50 goals in 49 games, guys. 50 goals. He was at 92 goals in one season.
I think he had 50 goals in 39 games.
39 games. That's
What
right.
was it? I'm sorry?
39 games. It was 39 games.
It was okay, there you go. 39 games. My mistake. Right. Wayne Goretzky will forever be the GOAT in the NHL. Now, George, I want to touch something on what you said earlier. Alex Ovechkin closing in on him. Alex Ovechkin is closing in on him on goals.
Goals, correct.
That's
not
right.
Points. Yes, not points.
Not points. I mean,
no,
Alex
Ovechkin. Believe me, I'm not comparing that. I'm just
right. I know that you weren't. I just wanted to touch base on that really quick.
When you're talking, and first of all, it's very interesting to note that nobody's mentioned Walter Payton. You guys have mentioned Jim Brown. I mean, Walter Payton certainly there. And I'm thinking of two people here, and I didn't rate them, top to bottom here. Edwin Moses in track and field was literally unbeaten. I don't know how many races. How many was it? 44 or something?
No,
he never lost.
100.
That was not an easy, the hurdles. I mean, he was incredibly dominant, and he was in tremendous shape. He's a great athlete.
Yep.
I have to include, and it's interesting to note, there is not a baseball player here. I mean, if we're talking about athletes, that's one thing. I mean, we mentioned Bo Jackson, yes, but not, quote, the baseball player. I'm going back to the NBA because I can't not include Magic Johnson, who, for his height, was an extraordinary player who could play all 5 positions and ran the court like a gazelle and was a thrill to watch. I mean, certainly among the greatest NBA players, and as an athlete, he was sensational. So, I mean, I'm going to throw them on the list. And there's so many others. I mean, if you were talking about people with the impact on sports, that's different. That's why I picked Muhammad Ali. And Jackie Robinson was there. And the Jesse Owens, and people who you'd say, who had the greatest impact. If you said who had the greatest impact in women's sport, I might pick Billie Jean King. You want to know why? She opened up the game to women's sport when she beat Bobby Riggs in that tremendously televised match in the 60s, David, at the Houston Astrodome, I think it was. And from there on in, women gained a lot of not just popularity and strength, but confidence, and money eventually went to those women. She's the standard bearer. I'm not athletically, that's one thing. So, and you mentioned Tiger Woods. I mean, I don't know, do we call golfers athletes? Certainly he'd be on a list, but he's athletically, I don't know. He certainly doesn't know how to drive a car.
Hey, George, real quickly, before Riggs lost to Billie Jean King, who did he beat female?
Wow, I don't know that.
Oh, was it Margaret Court?
It was Margaret Court.
Margaret Court. How about that?
Yeah, he really
almost said Virginia Wade.
Yeah, he wiped her. No, it was Margaret Court. He wiped her out. Margaret Court was a great tennis player, obviously, also.
Right.
And that's why everybody thought that he would go through Billie Jean King, and she wiped his ass all over the place.
She did. And because of that, I mean, she became the standard bearer for women. But again, athletically, I mean, Serena Williams is on that list and what have you. Soccer, tennis players, basketball players, athletes who are constantly on the move, that have to be in spectacular shape. I'm surprised, Walter. Well, let me hear the rest of you guys' list.
Well, is yet your number one, George? Who's your number one?
There isn't. I didn't go in that direction. I just put them out there. So
you've given all 5 though so far.
I've given 5. I've given 6.
He's given a lot. Yeah.
I thought about Walter Payton.
I've counted 18. That George has given for the last half an hour.
I thought about
holy shit, buddy. 18 number 5s, guys. 18 top 5s from George Ofman.
Walter Payton certainly did everything there was to do on a football field. So I thought about him. I'm going to break my creed here for my top athlete because I've had guys who were not only great in their individual sports, but then they were great in everything. So they're great athletes. I've always said that Michael Jordan's the greatest athlete I'll ever hope to be associated with. So I'm going to go with Jordan at the top of my list. He was terrible in baseball, so I'm breaking my creed.
I know. Yeah, he was.
But he was again, I'm sincere when I say this. There wasn't a game that I saw, and I had the best seat in the house for all his games, where I didn't go, oh, fuck, what did I just see? You know, it's like, I can't believe it. He was like Baryshnikov and Nureyev, great ballet guys, but basketball players, I mean, are 6'6". They're jumping over the damn rim, and they're strong too. So I don't know. Michael Jordan will always be the greatest athlete I'll ever hope to see. So he's number one on my list.
The amazing thing with Jordan was that he wanted to win every game. Mm-hmm. I'm so tired. And I know, David, you're still there at all the games, but I can't watch the NBA because fucking maintenance, fucking load management. Fuck this stuff. I get so aggravated. How can people enjoy the game when a guy plays one game and the next day he's not playing? I mean, earlier this year, and I'm going to forget his name, the guy from the Warriors who came off a 2-year injury.
Klay Thompson.
Yeah. He plays a game, and then he's getting ready to play the Bulls. He couldn't play because he was back-to-back. He'd been off for 2 freaking years. What do you mean you can't play back-to-back games? What the hell's wrong with you? The whole league is a bunch of soft, and they don't care. All they want to do is get to the playoffs, and it's so frustrating. And, people that gamble on the NBA, more power to you, because I don't know how you're gonna know from one day to the next who's playing, who's not, who's going to give it their all, who's not going to care, who's got Kyrie Irving sitting on the bench and don't give a rat's ass, and stuff like that. But, Jordan always cared. And it was funny because earlier this year, DeMar DeRozan missed a couple of free throws, and he stayed after the game. People were leaving. He was shooting free throws at the free throw line at the United Center. I tell the story all the and I tell the story all the time. When I was covering the Bulls, 1 year I covered the Bulls for the Score, and I went up to Deerfield a day after he had missed 2 free throws at the end of a game. There was nobody on the court but him. The curtain was still up. They hadn't even gotten there yet. I was there early. He was out there shooting free throws by himself. No rebounder. He was shooting them, rebounding himself, and going back out there. That's the kind of player he was. That's why it's fun watching the Bulls this year with DeMar DeRozan. He goes out there, tries to win every game. But I don't see it. I don't know if there was an athlete that we've listed that played as hard as Jordan did all the time.
You're bringing up, I think it's Pops who started that, didn't he? The load management thing?
Yeah.
Didn't Pops do that?
Yeah, pretty much.
I know, it's bad. It's, I don't like it because people pay to see these players play. So if LeBron James is taking a night off, which he usually doesn't do, but if a star player is coming to town and he's not going to be able to play, you're getting cheated out of watching him play because that's what you paid your money for, along with watching your own OG.
Well, I mean, when Frank Thomas was playing, we were all doing radio when Frank Thomas was playing, and there would be fans who would be pissed because they could only go to a Sunday game, and the manager of the White Sox, whoever it might be at that time, decided to give Frank Thomas the Sunday off.
Right.
And people would get pissed and they'd call the station. And it's like, okay, it's baseball. Guys, especially DHs and first basemen don't take a lot of days off. But in basketball, it's crazy when you see this. And then you keep telling them, well, look at Jordan. He was playing 42 minutes and played every game. And, they just say, well, that was different then. Yeah, it was different. You got knocked around a hell of a lot more than you do now. So anyway.
So Freddie, Jordan's your number one?
No, he's not. He was my 5.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was my 5.
Okay,
yeah.
Your number one.
He made him sound like he was his number one.
My number one is Burt Lancaster, only because he played Jim Thorpe. He played Jim Thorpe in Jim Thorpe All-America, or All-American, I can't remember. But he played the
He's serious.
No, I am. Well, I mean, it's not Burt Lancaster, it's Jim Thorpe. But anyway, so Jim Thorpe, if you remember, Burt Lancaster was also in a great movie, Trapeze, with Tony Curtis, another great film. But anyway, Jim Thorpe, that's where I first heard about Jim Thorpe. I'm watching TV when I was a kid, and I'm seeing this, and I asked my dad about it. My dad goes, yeah. He goes, the guy's in American Indian. All of a sudden, he wins gold medals in the 1912 Olympics in the pentathlon and the decathlon. And then he's the highest paid baseball player in, what year? 1913, when he signed to deal with the New York Giants. He gets his gold medals taken away because he accepted $2 from the House of David to play baseball. They took his I know. They took his gold medals away. I mean, absolutely amazing. And people, it's so funny now because we're leading up to the Super Bowl. There was no pro football, but when he was in college football before that, he was the man. It was like Jim Thorpe was the best. Everybody turned out to see Jim Thorpe, and it's amazing. He was the number one guy. When you said athlete, he played everything. He did it all, and I can't imagine anybody being better than him. So
yeah,
he's my number one.
Now for my number one, and Jim Thorpe was on my list, and I had to. I don't know.
You got to see the movie. If you see Burt Lancaster play him, you'll love it. You'll love it. Yeah.
By the way, I've got news for you, Fred. I don't know if you know this. Burt Lancaster dead.
Yeah, well, he was a Northwestern grad too. I knew that too. So,
my number one, my top number one greatest athlete of all time is hands down. I go with David Schuster on this one. Is Michael Jordan. He was absolutely unbelievable. There may be very few human beings that can keep up athletically with Michael Jordan, whether it be Bo Jackson, Carl Lewis, etc. There are very, very, very few human beings that might be able to keep up with the skill that Michael Jordan had, coordination and grace, maybe Kobe Bryant, Roger Federer. There are even fewer who might be able to match his mental game and competitiveness, whether it be Tiger Woods, Larry Bird, that Mamba mentality, that kill or be killed mentality. Without a shadow of a doubt, Michael Jordan is my number one. Now, guys, I want to let you in on something. When I was a kid, all right.
What was that, last week?
Yeah. Listen, I'm a puppy, man. I'm only turning 34 next month. All right. But when growing up, all right, when you guys were covering Michael Jordan, when you guys were talking about Michael Jordan every single day on the radio during basketball season, at my house, it was like Christmas Day every single time the Bulls played. We didn't miss a game. My grandmother then, who was 65 years old, 60 years old, she was a diehard Michael Jordan fan. She was wearing a Michael Jordan jersey. My grandmother was wearing a Michael Jordan jersey, which is absolutely insane. We didn't miss it. It was like prime TV event where we sat there and watched Michael Jordan. Didn't matter who they were playing. Didn't matter if it was, you knew it was going to be a blowout. It did not matter. Michael Jordan was the epitome of what my childhood was. Every kid did this. Tongue out, trying to slam dunk a koosh ball, a mini basketball, anything. What you could do to Michael Jordan. Then on top of it, I've heard stories by doing this, the podcast over the last couple of years. All right. Not only his competitiveness is at an all-time high, but the guy is one fucking hell of a golfer, if you guys didn't know. All right, he's a great golfer.
He's not that good because he's lost
not that
money on the golf course. He's a good golfer, but he's not.
I've heard that he's a pretty damn good golfer. I've heard from a couple different accounts he's a pretty damn good golfer.
Hey, listen, if you wanted to say that about a two-sport athlete for a short period of time, Hawk Harrelson was a pretty good hitter and he's a pretty good golfer. Remember,
Hawk Harrelson also has 717 wiffle ball home runs.
I did not know that. I also wanted to tell you when you said you're turning 34.
Yeah,
I'm 34. I'm 34 on this side and 34 on this side. That's how I know I am.
I got to go back to Fred with Burt Lancaster.
Yeah, he didn't go to Northwestern. It was Charlton Heston. I screwed up.
Yeah, Charlton Heston went to Northwestern, but I was just thinking, Burt Lancaster, he was really good in Birdman of Alcatraz.
Yes, he was. He was very good in that too. He was a great actor.
Google
Tremendous.
That, Mike. Google that.
I will. I'm gonna have to read about it or something somewhere.
I am. You mentioned Joe Montana. Why would you take Joe Montana over Tom Brady?
Because
I know why.
He never lost.
Never lost and never threw an interception.
Yeah.
No, he never lost, but but Brady won 7 of them and was in 10 of them.
Yeah, but he also
Joe Montana
also lost 3 of them.
Yeah,
it's the LeBron James thing also.
Well, not really because he's also won the most Super Bowls.
Okay, well, he's been. I mean, if Joe Montana, if they would have kept the 49ers intact, maybe they would have.
Well, but if they talk about GOAT, you never hear Montana's name. You hear Brady's.
Oh, bullshit!
Oh no. You hear Montana's name a lot.
Mention Tom Brady.
Okay.
Yeah, you do hear Montana's name a lot.
And then why I think another reason why I think Joe Montana, He's 260 regular season starts. All right, Tom Brady had more than that, actually. Joe only had 139 starts with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Joe's perfect 4-0 with no lost fumbles, 11 touchdowns, and no interceptions in the Super Bowl. It's perfect.
It's comparable.
That's Don Larson World Series game. Okay.
It's comparable to Jordan, who's 6-0 in NBA finals with 6 MVPs in those finals. I mean, I'm not discounting Tom Brady. I mean, how can you? I mean, he's done unbelievable stuff. But for my eye test, and Fred will agree with this, when I used to watch the 49ers, not as closely as Fred, but I thought, oh, my God, this guy is so clutch that if they were down in the fourth quarter, he would invariably lead them to a win in any game he played.
Yeah, it's funny because ESPN Plus has the Tom Brady was a man in the arena or whatever, the 8-part series. Peacock's got a 6-part series on Montana, and I've watched the first 1.5 of them, and he was similar to Brady, except, he wasn't the number one quarterback. He got hurt. They redshirted him junior year. You mentioned Rusty Lish. He was the starter that Dan Devine went to instead of Joe Montana. Then when Lish wasn't playing well or got hurt, they went to another guy, and then they finally brought Montana in. He was the guy that helped them win the national championship his redshirt junior year, I guess, and then they went 8-3 in their final year. But they won the Cotton Bowl, and they'd come back. They called him, the comeback kid, basically, before Joe Cool and all the other stuff. And the things he was able to do when he got in is what made him such an amazing quarterback. And if you ask Brady, he'll tell you Montana, because that's who he grew up watching.
And not only that, no baseball players chosen here.
Well, Babe Ruth, Babe Ruth was on my list, but he was one of the best pitchers in the American League when he was going up.
Right.
A home run leader. But, I mean, athlete, are you really going to say a guy who swallows beer and eats 5 hot dogs during the 4th inning is an athlete?
No, he's not. But he would. By the way, he would also be on my Mount Rushmore. But that's
what about Jaws? Joey Chestnut. Are you going to say he's an athlete?
Well, that's.
Listen. Once you eat hot dogs without dipping them in water, then I'll give you some credit.
I was going to put him on my list, but I was like, that's a lot of wiener.
He's also, by the way, number 1 on the list of throwing up, isn't he?
Yeah.
Or I am watching it.
But going back to the Joe Montana thing, I want to say one more thing before we cut off and do our honorable mentions, the guys that we forgot, like Babe Ruth and stuff like that. Joe Montana played in a league, played at a time just like Michael Jordan did, where they didn't they didn't have all these protection rules for the quarterback, where the quarterback couldn't get touched. Joe Montana got the shit kicked out of him a lot of the time. And
Jim Burt, I think Jim Burt, I think it was, it just knocked him on his ass and hurt his back. And even in the feature that they had asked, because they talked about drugs being in the area, and there was a rumor out in the Bay Area that Montana was taking, that he missed one of his years, not only because of a bad back, but because of a drug problem. I don't know. I doubt that it gets into that in this 6-part series. But he got beaten up really badly. Yeah. But the Niners did a smart thing. They got a good offensive line, and that's probably what we're gonna. Hopefully, we're not gonna see Joe Burrow get
I was just
knocked out his
say,
ass. Yeah,
be careful, because he can get the crap beat out of him this Sunday as well.
Yeah, I'm sure can.
We're talking about a team in the Super Bowl, by the way.
Yeah,
the worst offensive line in the NFL, and they're in the Super Bowl.
They put up points, though, boy. They put up points. They put their points on the scoreboard somehow, some way.
Are we getting to our Super Bowl picks now?
Let's do it. I just want to do a couple honorable mentions on my side. Again, Will Chamberlain was up there. Tiger Woods, I wanted on there. Jerry Rice was one up there on mine. Joe Montana, as we already talked about. Magic Johnson as well. Carl Lewis. The other guy that I really wanted on my list that I really, Jackie Robinson was there. I wanted to put him up there. But Barry Sanders, Walter Payton was a tie for me. Greatest athletes of all time. How they revolutionized the game. Those guys were unbelievably athletic. I mean, you could have put them in track and field, and they still would have won gold medals in the Olympics. I think those guys were amazing.
By the way, as we are doing this, have they already done the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
I'm waiting on it right now. Actually, I literally just started typing it up.
Okay, I was just curious to see whether or not there's going to be that Lark. And Devin Hester gets in, probably not on the first ballot, but
he does.
Well, a lot of people don't think so. I believe he does. I believe he does for two reasons. One, he was the greatest returner in history, and he changed the game. He changed the way teams played it. And take a look what's happened now in the last number of years. Teams stopped kicking off to really good kick returners.
They just changed the rules.
Right.
There's also for injury too. It also eliminated like 33.7% of the injuries that
they're gonna eliminate the kickoff altogether. It's gonna be one.
If you could have the best punter ever in Ray Guy in the Hall of Fame, and if you could have the greatest kickers, and I think there's a couple of them in there, then you have to have the best returner of all time.
Absolutely, the best of the best, and he was not only. I mean, he's the reason why the Bears made the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. They had a really good defense that year, and of course
we all know it wasn't Rex Grossman.
So I'm curious about that. I'm gonna start. I don't think this is gonna be a really high scoring game. I haven't seen what the over and under is, but I'm picking the Rams 27-17, and it could be worse than that. They're just a better team. They have a really dominating defense. I realize that Matthew Stafford can be mistake prone. It could cost them, but they also have an incredible wide receiver. I mean, he's as clutch as you get, and their defense is going to overwhelm Joe Burrow. This could be a rout. And then again, every playoff game thus far has been last play of the game, But I just think the Rams have too much talent, and I think they're going to win the game by at least 10 points.
The over/under on the Super Bowl, guys, is 48.5. Just giving you a heads
that's close.
So, all right, Dave, your turn.
I got the Rams winning 24-19. I also don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I agree that Joe Burrow is going to be running around like a chicken without his head. He's got great offensive players. Great.
He does.
I love Jamar Chase. I love Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is underrated, as good as he is also. But the offensive line has obviously been their Achilles heel. And I just think that Aaron Donald is going to be wearing a Super Bowl ring, and Von Miller are both going to get to him a couple of times each. And Matthew Stafford, who's unfortunately, through his Detroit days specifically, has had sort of a losing image about him. And he really didn't win anything in college at Georgia either. But I think he wins the big one here. I just do. So I got the Rams winning. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I will tell you this, though. I will watch the game, and I'll watch it closely. And in the last few years, I've watched the Super Bowl closely. But back in the past, when those Super Bowls were awful, and they were for a dozen straight years, it's the best night to go out to dinner because there's nobody at any of the restaurants.
Yeah.
I just have one question to ask you, David. Is it halftime yet?
Yes, and I remember that party at Randy Minkoff's house. Yes.
It was 1980, right? Yeah. We're going back a few years. All right, Fred.
Yeah. I'm picking the Bengals just because I dislike Jalen Ramsey with a passion. He's an arrogant bastard. And then I saw a feature of him dealing with a cancer kid. I said, come on, really? I got to watch this now? I can't hate him as much as I did before. But he can be beat. Just like anybody else, if you test him, he can be beat. And if they, maybe it's T. Higgins, maybe it's Boyd, but it seems like the tight end, does it sound like he's going to play Uzama for the Bengals? At least he said that
he's going to play.
Go ahead, Fred. You're going to say.
Yeah, he said that if they win, he was going to jump in. Did he say a tub or a big pool of Skyline chili? Yeah. So I mean, I think they have enough weapons. And the thing is, with 2 weeks to plan, you can come up with a way to try and stop an Aaron Donald. The Bears did it a couple times. They've done it. I think the last time they played him, he took care of him, but he's been able to be stopped. And I like going with the underdog. I always like the underdog in a big game like this. And they've come back in every game. They've been on the road for every game. And so I'm giving them some credit. And Joe Mixon's going to play a big role, especially if they win. So I'm going to go 24-23, which is interesting because it's just under the number. You said it was 48, right?
48.5, yes.
Yeah, so it's just under the number.
You're looking at three underdogs over the last 45 plus years, and you know what? We've beaten the odds, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, oh yeah, sure you are. You're right. Yeah, we've been around for a long time.
My pick for the Super Bowl this upcoming Sunday. Somebody mentioned it earlier. I am definitely hands down taking the Cincinnati Bengals. I've been watching this team close all year. it's one thing that this team does well is, yeah, they let the pressure go through because the offensive line is terrible. The offensive line is absolutely trash. But the one thing that this team does well is get the ball out quick to those very speedy receivers, and Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Uzomah, and Tyler Boyd, and Joe Mixon in the backfield, Perrine, whatever the hell you want to call them. They get the ball out quick, and they're a very dangerous team. There is not one team in today's NFL that has the amount of weaponry on the offensive side of football than the Cincinnati Bengals do. And it showed this year. That's why they are where they're at right now, because they can get the ball off quick to a bunch of playmakers that can get the job done. I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals and I'm taking the over. I'm saying 34-31.
Oh my God.
Cincinnati Bengals for the win. Joe Burrow puffing up a new stogie on Super Bowl Sunday night with Joe Burrow MVP.
Hey guys, I got to cut short here. I got to move on to something else. It's been fun doing this tonight.
We don't watch anymore either. It's over. We got it. We're done.
It's all done. We're all done.
It's all done.
We're finished.
It's like being kicked out of school, and I was always happy to be kicked out of school.
Fred, come back, Fred. Come on back.
No, I'm not coming back.
We still need you. Come on back, Fred.
No,
not a chance.
Smart move, Fred.
This is enough. This podcasts are enough. That's enough. I used to in my basement.
Thank you so much for tonight. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. We will talk soon. Top 5
Thanks, Mike.
Super Bowl predictions. It was a good show. Thank you so much. We will talk soon.
Sounds
Everybody,
good.
Fred Huebner, George Ofman, David Schuster joining me tonight, giving us the top 5 of their greatest athletes of all time, and my top 5 as well. Kind of may have shocked some people there a little bit. And then also the Super Bowl predictions. It's 50-50, split between all of us. George and David took the Rams, while Freddie and I took the Bengals. But I think I'm the only one that took the over. I really think this game's going over, guys. I truly, truly do. I want to say thank you to everybody who joined us tonight, especially George, Fred, and David. Thank you guys so much for hopping out with me tonight. It was a great show. Thank you guys so much. Kind of, I'm still getting used to that many people on the panel, but it was still a lot of fun having those guys on. Like I said, iconic Chicago radio voices between the 3 of those guys. I'm just some podunk. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here and talking my shit. That's all I do. But thank you for everybody in the chat who joined us tonight. Thank you to all our wonderful sponsors tonight. You guys are amazing. Nick and Ivy, Jonathan Darren Real Estate Group over at Coldwell Banker, August Doozer, Susie Sheehan, Mark Berardi Law, White Oak Farm Venue, the Sportsplex out in Homer Glen, Cupcakery Bakery. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys so, so much. Without you guys, none of this stuff happens. Tomorrow night, make sure you tune in. Make sure you guys tune in to the Over-Under with Harry the Greek and Peter Blake. It's going to be a good one. It's Super Bowl week. Make sure you get your bets in on that game. I already gave you my pick. I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals with the over and Joe Burrow MVP, guys. That's where we're going here. That's where Fat Mike is going. I'm going to Bengals. I'm riding that train. I've been riding that train all year with the Bengals. I've been betting them all year. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure you guys listen the rest of the week. Like I said, we got Harry the Greek and Peter Blake with the over-under tomorrow night. We got Mike Hughes coming with a great interview on Saturday with Brennan Davis, the Cubs' #1 prospect. On Sunday, no show Sunday since it's Super Bowl Sunday. We're going to be hanging out, doing our thing. Schuster will not be live, but I know Freddie's coming back for a very heartfelt Valentine's Day episode. So be prepared for that. So you guys take care. I'm out of here. It's time for me to get ready to go to bed. This show's long as shit as it was. I got to get out of here. You guys have a great night, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Thank you for listening to 1252 Sports Chicago.